Well, you know, you know what they say. Whoever they are, better late than never. That's what I always say. But we'll give everybody a chance since I was late to jump in if they want to, and then we're going to talk about how to start a trucking company. So, if anybody wants to jump in here with me, you are welcome to do that. We've talked about this stuff for, oh God, I don't know, years. But I had a couple of people, a couple of friends that this week alone that, Todd Allen, what up? What up? I had a couple of people this week, Eddie. Eddie, good to see you, man. I had a couple of people this week hit me up just out of the blue. I didn't expect it. I didn't see it coming. And man, just out of the blue, uh, they're starting up a trucking company. So, hey, Betty, what up? My first question when somebody tells me they're starting up a trucking company, my first question is always why? Why are you doing this? Like, why are you starting a trucking company? Why trucking? On break. Hope you're doing well. Brother, I am. I'm doing great. I've been so busy today, and I apologize for being late. It's been one of those days here at the ranch. Ooh. Anyway, um, I will tell you this. I can't wait for cooler weather to get here. Um, hey, Deb, what up? Deb knows all about starting a trucking company. But what I want to talk about tonight is just the kind of the basics of it. And most of you guys already know that, but maybe we'll trip over something or one of you guys can help me out with something that we don't know. And that'd be a good thing. I'm always glad to hear that. I like to hear that. I like to learn something new. When I stop learning, I will quit and become I'll do what I tell all these people starting trucking companies that don't know anything about it. I'll do what I tell them to do. I'll open up a pizza joint. That's what I'll do. To start a trucking company, number one, you need to know a little bit about the business. You do. You just need to know something, at least, about the business. Like, what are you going to do? Anybody can say, well, I'm going to start a trucking company, and I'm going to start noise down, and I'm going to start up a trucking company, and but what are you going to do? What are you going to do with those trucks or that truck? Like, how are you going to put it together? What are you going to do with it? How are you going to make money with it? How are you going to make a profit in the business? Do you have customers? Because you're going to need some. Okay. The people, I see it every day. I see it every day. I've been preaching about it for years. Shaggy's been preaching about it for years. Everybody I know, pretty much on the same page with this. If all you do, hey, Jonathan, what up, brother? If all you do is get up in the morning and turn on DAT and you think you can make a living that way, you're wrong. You're not going to be here. I saw probably 3 today on social media. Anybody want to buy my trailers? I've had enough. And when I see those messages, I know instantly that they're not working with direct customers. They're not doing anything dedicated. They're not doing anything, with any long-term plan involved. They're just getting up in the morning and hitting that spot market. And guys, the spot market is what it is. It's junk. It's junk, leftover freight that the big carriers didn't want, the medium-sized carriers didn't want, and they feed it out there to brokers that bid on it cheaper than the carriers. So obviously they're going to make a profit. They're going to sell it to you cheaper. That's what that shit is. That's what it is. It's shit. It's junk. But for a couple of years there, the spot market was on fire, and people went out and bought these $150,000 trucks, $180,000 trucks, and $100,000 trailers, jumped in the spot market, and for a year or so, they made pretty good money. Then last year around Christmas, it stopped like a gnat hitting the windshield. It just stopped. And those of us that have been around for a while know this, okay? We know that the spot market does this up and down, up and down. Very cyclical, very, very cyclical. It never stays the same. So, once the brokers all got together and decided, the big box brokers, not the little guys, the big box brokers, once they all got together and decided that they just weren't going to pay you anymore, it stopped. Their rates didn't change, okay? If you're starting out a trucking company brand new, do you need to know these things? Do you need to understand these things? So here's what you need if you're going to start a trucking company. Number one, you need a very good, very thorough knowledge of the business. You need to know the business. You need to know all the different kinds of freight out there, the different kinds of equipment, because you're going to aim your business at a certain thing, right? You're not just going to buy a truck, park it behind the barn and wait for people to call you up to go move shit around. Unless you've been around for a real long time and know a lot of people, that doesn't happen. That's not going to happen for you. So, and I'll tell you a really big thing you better know right now before you ever even do anything. You better know your insurance cost. Because if you're a new startup company right now, you're going to pay a minimum of about $2,000. I've heard a lot more per truck per month. So that means that every week when you roll out of bed on Sunday night or Monday and get ready to go, that means that before you even turn the key on, you're $500 in the hole. Then you got fuel. Then you got maintenance. Then you got a truck. You got a truck payment. You got all these things to consider if you're going to get into the trucking business. And a lot of people, one of the people I talked to was going to get into the trucking business for an investment. Okay. This person was going to buy these trucks and put them out there and put drivers in them. Well, there's another little bridge you got to cross. Where are you going to get the drivers? Where are you going to get them? I've been hearing this. You hear this shit all the time. It's been going on for 30 years. I don't know why anybody pays attention to it, but they do. Okay, I've been hearing this for 30 years. There's a driver shortage out there right now. At this very moment in time, we're 75,000 drivers short. If we had 75,000 drivers that jumped into the industry tomorrow morning at 7:00, we'd barely get even. But you try to get a parking spot in a truck stop after 4:00 in the afternoon, and there aren't any. You call up these customers that you've got in mind that you want to solicit, you want to do business with, and they don't need you. They got plenty of trucks. They don't need you. They got plenty of trucks to work for them. So where's this driver shortage? Where's the shortage? Truck stops are fuel. People are selling fuel for as much as they want to because people keep buying it. Some of you will. Deb Dingo will, and because she's my friend, I can talk to her. I can remember when diesel fuel was $1 cheaper than regular gas. Now it's the other way around. How'd that happen? Did all of a sudden, out of the clear blue sky, did it happen that all of a sudden diesel fuel costs more to produce and refine than gasoline does? Did that happen one day? No, it didn't happen. That's a little thing called supply and demand. If you'll pay for it, they will let you. And when you go to Walmart, if you'll pay $35 for a pair of those $3 shoes, they will let you. When you go to the grocery store, okay, will you pay $9.11 per pound for chuck? Because if you will, they will let you. You see where I'm going here? Of course you do. But if you're going to start a trucking company, number one, you need to know what you're going to do. You need to know what part of the business you're going to be in. Are you going to pull flatbeds, refrigerated? Are you going to pull dry vans? Are you going to pull open deck? Are you going to do specialized freight? Are you going to do dedicated freight? Or are you going to do, a full truckload and run all over the place? You need to know those things about the business. You need to know what it costs to operate a truck per mile. Okay. You need to know your numbers. You need to know what it costs to operate a truck per mile. Somebody put a note in there and tell me what it costs you. Don't blow it up. Don't give me bullshit. Tell me what it costs you to operate per mile. And that's with paying yourself something. I don't everybody does it different. Everybody's got a different idea how to do that. But that's with paying yourself something different. How much does it cost you before you make a profit? Before you make a penny to put in the bank, what does it cost you? Deb says 250. 250 a mile. Okay. I think if you're over 250, you're in trouble. You're in a lot of trouble. If you can't get your costs down below 250, you're in a lot of trouble. 185. Okay. Okay. Mara, where you been? What up? Mara say $1.45. Okay. I get that. Paid for truck and trailers. Got it. Got it. But if you're going to get into this business, you need to know those things. The other thing that you need to know is you need to know some of the rules and regulations, some of the laws, some of the things that you can and cannot do. Okay? You need to know those things. Here's something I bet you don't know. If you're just brand new starting out and you're new to the business and new to the industry, here's something. Where are you going to park them? Where are you going to put them? They're real big, you know. You can't park them in the yard. Can't park them in your driveway. Can't park them down at the local gas station. They won't let you. Where are you going to put them? It's little shit like that that comes up that haunts you, You can get a truck, you can go to the dealership. Oh, Lord, there are so many new laws. Oh, God. Yeah, every day. There's a little bunch of people in Washington don't know shit about trucking making new regulations every day. Every day. I saw the man on TV again today. We'll never pass up a chance to make the roads safer. He wouldn't know safe if it bit him in the ass. He doesn't have a fucking clue. If he did, there wouldn't be any ELDs. They wouldn't exist. Because when they implemented those things, productivity went down 20% and the accident rate went up 17% that day. And it stayed there. It stayed there for the past 4 years. Stayed right there. And it's not going to change any. So a new person starting out, do you know these things? Do you have any idea of all these things? So you need to know the business. You need to know your cost. You need to know what kind of equipment you want based on what kind of business you plan to do with that equipment. You need to know those things. Okay. If you're going to put drivers in those trucks, you better know some, because right now, putting an ad out on the internet or, just walking around looking for drivers, good luck with that. Good luck with it. I mean, you might find one. It won't be anybody that'll take care of your equipment and operate it the way you do. You won't find, and when you do, they're going to want 70 cents a mile or more to drive that truck for you. Now your cost just went up. So, when we go back and we look over these things, Deb Dingo's number at 250 starts to sound a lot more realistic, doesn't it? I mean, if you're paying a driver 70 cents plus, you got to match their taxes. Yes, you do. You got to do that. So 70 cents, it just real quickly becomes 78, 79 cents. You got to match their taxes. You've got to do all the withholding and match that. You got to do that. You got to do that every quarter. If you don't, the IRS will come and get you. You got to be able to do those things. But the first thing you really need is a driver, one that'll work. I know a lady friend of mine that's on here. She owns 2 trucks. One she drives and another one that she's tried to put drivers in. And in the past, probably 3 months, she's had 3 drivers in it. And she pays them very well. Very well. Hello. If you don't click that button, I might not know who you are. Mickey say, me paying myself at least $1,500 a week, $15 in fuel, $500 in truck cost. My break even is $1.50 a mile at 2,500 miles a week. Okay. That's okay. I'm not sure I could run for $1.50. I don't think I could. I don't think I could. So you need to know those things about trucking before you even say out loud to somebody, I'm going to get in the trucking business. You need to know those things. You need to have a customer or two. Okay. Not a broker, not a DAT account or a truck stop account. Everybody's got those. And those people are starving to death and selling their equipment for nothing just to get out from under it. So you need a real live customer, which takes us back to what kind of freight are you going to haul? What are you going to do with that truck? What kind of equipment do you need? Do you need a big, fast, heavy chicken truck with chrome and lights going up daily in this fucking fuel? Yeah. Yeah. Do you need a real light truck because you're going to haul heavy stuff, overweight stuff with a double frame and a big motor? Do you need one of those? What do you need? What are you going to do with that truck? How are you going to put it to work? If you go into specialized equipment, where are you going to get drivers to do that? Where are you going to get drivers that know specialized, that know all the rules, all the work, and are willing to do that work? Because I'm here to tell you, Mara can tell you, and Deb Dingo can tell you that pulling an open deck trailer is a lot of fucking work. It's a lot of work. You don't just climb in the truck and sit there and put it in gear and stab it and steer. That's not what you do when you pull an open deck. You load, you unload, you strap it down, you tarp it, you do whatever you have to do to secure that load. And then you go a little bit and you check it, and you go a little bit and you check it again. You know, when you get to where you're going, you got to unstrap it or unchain it, untarp it, get it ready to be unloaded, stow all that gear away. Mara say a lot. Yeah. Yeah. It's a very physical, very demanding job. Pays well, usually, if you have the right contacts and you know the right people. That's part of the business that pays well. But you earn it. And, finding drivers to do that kind of work, shit, finding drivers to even get out of the damn truck and open the doors is hard enough to do. They whine about that. They whine about everything. And to top it off, they want a new truck every 2 years or more. They want you to pay for their insurance. They want this. They want that. They want this. They want that. And with the 70,000 driver shortage, they can get what they're asking for. Because if you don't pay it, the next guy will. I earn every penny. I know you do, honey. I know you do. I know what you do. So, if you're going to get into this business, you got to know what you're going to do with your truck, too. Two, you got to know your costs. And in order to do that, that goes back to number one. You got to know what you're going to do. Whole different animal, flatbed versus a dry van versus a refrigerated trailer versus specialized freight. Whole different thing. Are you going to jump right in and get your own authority? Because if you are, you're going to put on 5 hats that day, 5 different hats. You're going to be a driver, a dispatcher, a salesperson. You're going to do all of your own compliance, all of that stuff, and you're going to be a planner, all in one day. All in one day. All in one day. Or are you going to buy a truck, go out, and lease it on to a company that already has freight that can get you? Most drivers don't even walk around their truck in the morning before they take off. I know. Eddie say, I hate Facebook. Eddie, you got to come by here one day. Hang out. Man, you got to come by here. You'd like it here. Anyway, you got to know what you're going to do. You got to know what your costs are. You got to have customers and you got to have drivers. You got to have those things. You got to have them. There was a guy here in town. This was a couple years ago. This was before the big, everything went haywire and went crazy, before the pandemic, all that shit. This is before the spot market got hot and heavy for 2 years. This guy went out and bought 5 brand new Volvos. Brand new. Brand spanking new. Because he knew if he had these 5, he told me this. So I knew he knew it because he told me this shit, okay? If he had 5 brand new Volvos, he wouldn't have any trouble getting drivers. Drivers love those Volvos. They love it. You hire a guy and you tell him right now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'll put you in a brand new Volvo, got 3 miles on it. Line up customers even before buying a truck. If you can't get customers to commit, open a grilled cheese trailer. I knew that was going to come up. I knew that was going to come up. And next time you come to Nashville, you bring me my damn dollar. Don't bring me no Venmo, none of that hippie shit. $1. Bring me $1. I'll give you your grilled cheese sandwich. Anyway, you got to know these things about the trucking business before you get into it. Where do you learn this stuff? Not Facebook. And here I am on Facebook and YouTube right now, talking. I'm the guy, I'm telling you, you listen to these people on Facebook, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get bad information. Bad. And I saw a guy on the other night. I've never seen him before. I don't know who he is. He doesn't even drive anymore. He retired. I'm waiting for all the TikTok drivers to go belly up. I want a new trailer. They're going. I've seen trailers for sale on social. I wasn't on social media much today. I got busy. I got 2004 Volvo with a Cummins ISX. That's a time machine there, brother. 10-speed manual. Well, that's another thing. If you hire these new truck drivers, they don't know how to operate no manual transmission. They look down at that floor and see that third pedal and go, what the fuck is that? What am I supposed to do with that thing over there? Is that the brake? How you let it go? So, you better have a plan. This guy here in town, he bought 5 brand new Volvos. Brand new, top of the line stuff. The big ones with the bunk, it's got the little ladder and all that shit in it. 5 of them. And somebody told him he needed a couple of extra trailers because he's going to have to drop trailers, dropping hook. So he bought 8 trailers. 8, brand new. This equipment this man is buying is brand spanking new. To the best of my knowledge, and I knew a guy that knew a guy that kind of, he's right here in my town. It's a small town. Okay. He never, ever put more than 2 of those trucks on the road. Never did. He lost the trucks. He moved out of his home, took a big loan out on his home, moved him and his wife and 2 kids into a little apartment. I saw him at breakfast one morning. Well, we're just getting on our feet. We're just getting started here. We're just getting where we're right now. We're getting started. It takes a little time. We understand that. He'd already lost his home. He had his wife and kids living in a little bitty apartment. He lost everything. He lost everything he had. He didn't know anything. He didn't know anything about the business, but he was sure. And this should tell you something, right, guys? I mean, Deb, Mara, listen, this should tell you something. He went out and bought 5 brand new Volvos because he was sure that 5 brand new Volvos would attract 5 top of the line, experienced road dog super truckers. And he would be in business day one. He had no idea what he was doing. No idea what he was doing. We haven't even started to talk about cash flow yet. Well, there's that, isn't there? So if you know the business and you know what you're going to do, let's say you have a friend that's a shipper that's telling you, hey, if you go out and buy 2 or 3 trucks, I'll keep you busy. I'll run your ass off. You get a couple of trucks, I'll keep you busy. So if you got that in your back pocket and they agree to pay you enough to make a living, we've already covered that. That went from $250 down to $150 real quick. Up and down, and everybody's kind of sort of in the middle. By the way, I'm in the middle. I'm at about $1.80, $1.85. That's where I'm at. But I get some good discounts on fuel. I get a very good discount on insurance. He's an idiot. Yeah, he's an idiot. He's not even an idiot. That's guys like him give idiots a bad name. So you got to know those things. And let's say you got an account. Let's say you got somewhere to go to work. You got a place to go to work. Now you got to get some equipment and some insurance. Okay? You better make that insurance. I've said it before. I'm going to say it one more time. You better make that insurance phone call before you do anything, because that's going to figure so heavily into your cost per mile, into your overhead, so heavily that you need to know that number before you sign on the dotted line. Jonathan say, I don't understand these people with all this money who do not have someone on their team that knows a thing or two about the business. I've seen this happen a lot in my 12 years where people with money lose it all on trucks not knowing anything. I have two. And my friend Paul down in Florida, down in Georgia, that I've known for 35 years, Paul's favorite thing to say, if you can even get insurance, yes. There's one company that'll write a new startup trucking company. There's one company that'll write them, and that's Progressive. And I am today suing them over a claim that's damn near a year old. They never pay their bills. They're shit. They're a shit company. And if I'd known this hauler, this carrier had Progressive, I'd have never put a load on it. I'd have never put a load on it. I don't want to mess with them. But that's the only company in the world that'll write a brand new trucking company right now. So you either go with them or nothing. So it's them or nothing. So we're going to get, that's actually a sad story. It is. It's the reason I come on here on Tuesday night, one's a visit with all my friends because you guys, we're all friends here. Everybody knows everybody. And the other is to try to help some people like that. The thing that I find more often than not is most of the time, nobody listens to you. Shaggy and I talk about that all the time. He goes, I've been teaching. It's like, and then 2 days later, I'll see some guy get on social media and he'll just absolutely contradict everything we just decided to do. I see it every day. Every day. It's not my job. I can't make anybody. I've been doing this since 1979. I can't make anybody take my advice. I can't teach them how to research things and get information. We listen to you. I listen to you more than I listen to myself. But anyway, I can't make anybody take the knowledge. All I can do is put it out there. And if people want to do something with it, great. That's great. I hope it helps. That's the idea. So we're going to talk about cash flow. So when you go out and you buy a truck, and you got to pay insurance, you got to pay a driver, and you got to buy fuel, and you got to pay maintenance, and you got to do all these things. And you put that, and that's a big number. Yeah. You put that all on your legal pad, like I like to do. I like to do my legal pad stuff. I had to move my office. That's why I was late. I'm moving my office all around. And I found like 316 legal pads full of shit. And I look and I go, damn, I remember that. You ever do that? Clean out a drawer and go, well, there's that motherfucker. I've been looking for that some bitch for a year. Finally forgot I even had. I've been doing that all day. So you got to figure out your cash flow. You got to figure out where it's going to be. You got to figure it out. And another couple of things that you better figure out real quick. Great West. Yeah, they're the best. I love them. We don't have very many claims in my business. Maybe one every 2 or 3 years. I think our average is a little better than that, actually. Probably one every 3.5 years. But when it's Great West, it's already settled in 2 weeks. Done. Everything good. They're great. I love them. Progressive, you've always got to take them to court. Or you got to get right up to the point of taking them to court. They put you through the ringer on all this shit. So I just called them today. I said, you know what? I'm taking you to court. Well, we're going to sign. I said, you sign anybody you want, do anything you want. Your ass is going to court. I called my lawyer this morning. I'm going to sue you. We're done now. We're through talk. I don't like you people. I don't even like you. I've never met you. I don't even like you, ugly motherfucker. I am suing your ass. Anyway, cash flow. You better be able to cash flow your company. Now, everybody has got an idea about this too. Everybody jump in here. Jump in here. I say, you've got to be able to cash flow your company, whether it's one truck or 10. You've got to be able to cash flow it and operate with zero revenue, zero income for a minimum of 90 days. I know it's more than that, guys. You guys are going to jump me now and say, you can't have fucking 90 days. You better be 6 months. And you're right. But you're rolling the dice at 90 days because we've already figured out you don't know shit about trucks. You're not a mechanic. You're never going to be. And if you don't have a good relationship with a mechanic, you're in deep shit anyway. But if one of these trucks goes down and they keep it in the shop at their $200 an hour labor, they keep it in the shop for 3 weeks, that's going to hurt. But what hurts? Would argue 6 to 9 months. See, yeah, and I don't Jonathan, I don't disagree with that. I don't. I'm just saying at 90 days, you're kind of rolling the dice right there. That's kind of iffy, but if you're pretty good at what you do, you can probably get through it. Okay. I mean, we would hope, right? So you put the truck in the shop and they keep it, oh, what, 3 weeks? That's on a good day. Okay. Most of the time, they're going to keep it more than that. But if they keep it 3 weeks at $200 an hour labor, plus parts, plus this and that, that's going to hurt. What really is going to hurt is if you've decided with your customer and your cost and your cash flow and everything is in perfect order and you're running your business the way it ought to run, okay? And let's say you have penciled in $7,500 a week revenue for that truck. And that's the number that you're going to start with to operate. Most people aren't getting that right now. They're getting around 5 or 6. And I remember a time not very long ago at all that 5 or 6 grand a week was plenty. That was pretty good. That meant you were going to have a pretty damn good week. That meant that if you're an owner operator at the end of the year, you're going to make a couple $100,000. You're going to do pretty good. You know, it's not that way anymore. It's not that way. So let's say you've got yourself penciled in for, let's say, 7 grand a week. And that truck sits in that shop for 3 weeks. You've still got to pay your truck payment. You've still got to pay your insurance. You've still got to pay all these other fixed expenses, fixed and variable, and we all know what those are, okay? You still got to pay all your fixed expenses, just like if you're running the truck up and down the road. The only thing you don't have to pay is variable expenses. You don't have to pay a driver because if the truck stays in 3 weeks, he's probably going to quit anyway, or she. Probably already found another job, okay? Because they're not going to sit home for 3 weeks. I mean, they don't give a shit. They can pick up the phone at 10 o'clock in the morning and be working for somebody else at noon, and they know it. They know they can do that. So you probably lost your driver. You lost $21,000 in revenue. How many miles, how many days, weeks, or months do you have to run that truck to make up that $21,000 in a good economy 6 months? Right now, it's a crapshoot. I could probably put a number on that. My accountant would tell you I'm not very good at numbers, but I actually am. I just don't like doing it. So to make up $21,000, that means, stay with me here, that means you got to make your 7 grand a week anyway, because that's your nut. We already figured that out, okay? That's what you got to have to live, eat, breathe, and make a little bit of money. You got to keep making that anyway. Now you got to add 21 grand to it. Now, I know a guy that can do that. I'm not going to say his name because he's a friend of mine and I don't have his permission. I know a guy that can do that. I know a guy that doesn't care about rate per mile. He doesn't care about deadhead. He doesn't care about any of that shit. What he cares about is weekly revenue. That's what he cares about. He doesn't care about all the other stuff that the rest of us lay awake at night and worry about. He doesn't. He just gives a shit about weekly revenue. And he translates that to monthly. When he wants to buy a new piece of equipment or when he wants to do something different, maybe buy a boat or a motorcycle, he'll call me up and he'll go, I figured all I really got to do is for 2 months make 18 grand a month, and I got that covered, and then I got a little bit left over. And then he'll call me after a month and go, yeah, I'm already 2/3 of the way there, so I'm good. I got. That's how he thinks. That's how he sees his world. That's how he does it. I don't know where Jess is. She hasn't been on this show in so long that I'm going to probably cut her off. I'm probably going to send the brothers out to find her and, put a bitching on her about this. But that's how Jess works. Jess works so that she can spend 6 weeks a year or 8 weeks a year in Belize. That's what she does. She knows how many miles she's got to run, how much revenue she's got to create. She pulls a little bit back for, repairs and expenses, unexpected stuff that comes up, because it does. She pulls a little of that back and adds it back on. But she can tell you pretty much what she's got to do every day, every week, every month to get to the point that when winter hits, she shuts everything down, locks everything up, and she gets on a plane and she goes to Belize and hangs out at her mother's house. Which sounds pretty good. That's what she does. She works to live. She doesn't live to work. She's, she doesn't even think that way. I know her very well. She doesn't think that way. Believe me. So, you want to be in the trucking business. Are you ready for this stuff? You better have a good shop, a really good one, and be real good friends with them. And you better have a good accountant if you're not one. You better have a good one to keep your shit straightened out. That'll tell you the truth. You better have a good one. And you better have a good freight base. A really good one. I don't mean DAT and truck stop. You're not going to make it there. I don't give a fuck who you are. You're not going to make it there. You're not going to make it there. You might build some relationships with some brokers that feed you special freight that you don't see on the load boards. You might do that. But if you just get up every morning, like one of our Facebook superheroes with his big 40,000 people following on Facebook, if all you do is get up on there, you got to get that broker on the phone, you got to just fuck his eyes out. You're not going to get there. That's over. You're not going to get there. You're not going to. They'll laugh at you and hang up. They don't care about you. They don't give a shit if you make a living. They don't give a shit if you get home to see your kids. They don't give a shit if you got treatments you got to be home. They don't care. They don't care about any of that. They don't even want to know your fucking name. All they want is your truck number. They don't care about any of that. They don't care if you make a dime. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. They want to keep all that. That's why they got this place open for, to make all the money and keep it. So, if you want to start up a new trucking company and you're not familiar with the industry and you're not familiar with these things I'm talking about tonight, and I know all you guys are that are watching this right now, I agree with you. Need to find a repair shop. That will definitely help cut down on a huge portion of your expenses. Unbelievable portion of your expenses. Yeah. I mean, unbelievable. Ricky, and you guys know Ricky's, one of my very best friends in the world. Ricky charges half of what the big shops charge, and he will get you in there and do it right now and get you out. That's what he'll do. Anyway, yeah, and I've said that for years. If you don't have a shop, or if you don't have a good relationship with a shop, you're going to need to. It's going to be there. It's a truck. It's made out of rubber and metal and shit like that. It runs on fuel. It's got all these inherent things to go wrong, and they will. And now you got all this emission shit. Man, I'm not even going to start on that. If you want to get into this business and you're not familiar with how to do it, you need to go somewhere, somehow, some way, and spend some time with somebody that will impart this knowledge to you, because you're not going to pick it up on YouTube, and you're not going to pick it up on Facebook, and you're not going to pick it up in reading manuals and books and shit like that. You're not going to pick it up there. You're not gonna. It's way too fluid. It moves around too much. There are too many variables. And if you get caught off guard by one of them, you're in a lot of trouble. You're in a lot of trouble. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that nobody can get into the trucking business in the whole wide world and make a living, because you can. And a lot of people have, and a lot of people do. All I'm telling you, all we're talking about tonight, these are the things you need to know. These are the things that you need to have down cold before you start making investments and before you start signing on the dotted line. You better have the right equipment to do the work you want to do. You better have a damn good insurance deal, because that'll kill you. Okay? Better have a good relationship with a shop. You better have your own customers. And if you're going to put drivers in the trucks, you better already have them. They better already be in place, ready to go. If you have all those things, okay, that's called being born on third base with a silver spoon in your mouth. If you have all those things in place and ready to go when you start up, ready to go, and everything goes your way, everything goes the way you want it to, or you're one of these people that's able to recover very, very quickly, then you can probably make a pretty good living. A lot of people do. We talk about this all the time. The guys that are on the low boards playing the spot market, they're selling equipment. They're getting rid of their equipment. They just are. Guys that have relationships with 3PLs or brokers, whatever you want to call them, and they're feeding you consistent freight out off the back shelf that never makes it to the load boards. If you have those, you're probably doing okay. If you've got a couple of good outbound customers that pay you enough revenue so that you can haul that cheap ass shit back and keep your overall rate per mile healthy, then you're probably going to make it. You're probably going to be fine. And that's down a little bit because that backside, that backhaul, that's another one that my friend Boblet doesn't like that word. There's no such thing as a backhaul. The reason he says that, the reason he's so adamant about that is because he's got about the same kind of a brain as a fucking parakeet. Yeah, I said that. No, get your little dander up, little fella. I'll show you how old Marine acts when he gets pissed off. Anyway, you've got to know these things. You've got to have a firm grip on these things. You got to have a grasp of these things before you start making commitments. Because if you don't, you're the numbers are against you. The deck is stacked against you. It's not a thing that it's not like opening a pizza joint with $20,000 cash. Okay, if you make it, fine. If you don't, you're out 20 grand. It's not like that. It doesn't work that way. The other thing that you need to be familiar with, I don't know if Betty is still on here or not. You better be really, really, really with all these rules and regulations they're coming up with. You better know them. You better know them. Because you can get hurt. They've doubled and tripled the fines on almost everything now. It's all a money grab to them. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. Why we keep electing these people, and I mean all of them. I don't mean Republicans, and I don't mean Democrats. I mean all those sons of bitches, everyone. Why we keep electing these 80-year-old motherfuckers that can't find their ass with both hands is beyond me. I'm not going to get into it, but you know what I mean. These people up there work for the banks and the special interests, and they don't give a fuck about you. They don't care. They don't care. I mean, they get out there in front of the White House and climb up in a UPS truck, and they think that's what trucking is. They do. That's what they think it is. They don't know. They don't know. They don't have a clue. But these are things that you need to know. And you need to get, if you're going to try to get into this business, before you start signing on the dotted line, before you start making commitments, before you take that big step, you better get together with somebody that does know these things that can help you out. You better do that. Because if you don't, there are just so many different ways. I mean, we're the second or third most regulated industry in the United States. What does that tell you? I mean, you're going to jump into this business blind, not knowing the business? And I hear these guys, well, I know a few things. I know a few. And you can tell after talking to them for about 2 minutes, they don't know shit. They can't find their ass with both hands in a flashlight. Yeah, I know a few things, buddy. I might not know. Here's my favorite one. I might not know the trucking business, but I know business. I'm pretty damn good. I'm all right. My damn pickup's paid for. If that tells you anything, yeah, you're ready. Go for it. That's what I wanted to talk about tonight. And for me, and we've done this, guys, and I'm not going to do it because everybody on my page, all you guys here on my page are veterans, and you already know this stuff, and I'm preaching to the choir. I did this show tonight for two friends of mine that asked me to talk about starting up a new company and getting a new company going. So I did that mostly for them, and I appreciate you guys with your numbers and your help, doing it. And I know that any one of you could teach this without even, thinking about it. But that's what I did it for. So trying to help them out and get them headed in the right direction. Get with somebody that knows what they're doing. Be very careful about this thing, because you can lose your ass in a blink of an eye. You can get in over your head so fast that would take you, years and years and years to recover, unless you just have a shit ton of surplus money laying around that you can throw in. My friend Paul, I started to tell you, his favorite thing to say is, if you have a lot of money and you want to get into the trucking business, if you have a lot of money, you can last for about a year. If you've got a lot of money and really, really good credit, 2 years. And he's right about that. So, I was going to go to G-Bats this weekend. I really kind of sort of wanted to go there in a way, and another way I don't. But I really wanted to go there and hang out and see some guys. But then my sons called and they wanted to go to the mountains, do some trout fishing. And I mean, yeah, I'm doing that. so we got so much shit going on here at the farm. God damn. But anyway, I'm going to go over there and go fishing for about 4 days with my sons because I am. So I'm not going to G-Bats. I'm probably not going to do anything else for the rest of the season, but as far as traveling around much goes. But it's Tuesday night. Everybody have a great week. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for being a friend to everybody on here. I appreciate you. Try to make a little money, be safe, and help somebody. We're all we got. We are all we have. The government's not coming to help you. They're not. They're not going to do it. Other people in the business, most of the time, they're not interested in helping you. They're not going to do that. But in this group, we do. So, we're going to stick to that. But anyway, I love you guys. I mean it. And you know that. Have a great week. Be safe. Mara, you be careful. I don't even know where you are. I haven't been able to keep up with you lately. Everybody be careful out there. Be very, very careful out there. If you get through Nashville, I'll take you and buy you a taco. I'll take you and buy you a taco. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to share it. All that YouTube stuff. Do all that shit. Hell yeah. Spread it everywhere. You're in Dallas. Oh, God. Okay. Everybody have a great week. Have a good time. Appreciate you coming by. I appreciate you, period. I'll see you next Tuesday night. We'll come up with something fun to talk about. We'll come up with something fun to do. Go Titans. Tighten up. We'll see y'all next